There's always somebody calling me. Crazy. Good evening, everyone. This is the December zoning board meeting. And let me introduce the members of the council. To your left is Chuck Thibodeau, Mr. Dave Francis, Michael Alves, myself, Barrett Holby. Andrew Ellis is the normal chairperson, but he will not be here this evening. Could not make it. So I'm the vice chair and will be stepping in. Jason Nystrom and Jason Renone. We have, you will be attending as a member, and Dave Francis is an alternate. The first order of business is to approve the minutes from last month.
I move approval of the minutes.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We will hear the first application. When you come up, let us know your name and address so the stenographer can hear you, and we'll get right on with the first application, which is application 23-45. Chaselyn Brackett, owner, and Scott Brackett, applicant, 32 Detroit Avenue, plat map 20, lot 57. Request for a dimensional variance to construct an accessory structure with less than the required side yard setback in the R10 zoning district. Yes. Come on up. So you're looking for a variance?
State your name.
I'll state your name. For the
Oh, sorry. Scott Brackett,
And I'm Jacqueline Brackett.
And their address.
And your address?
32 Detroit Ave in Warren.
Okay. And tell us what you're trying to get a variance for.
I'm trying to build a shed, and the coordinates that I read, I thought it was 5 feet, and I guess it's a little bit more. And a yard floods. We have the only house on the street where that goes down. And we put in numerous complaints about flooding, and I need a shed to put all my stuff in.
Our garage gets flooded. Our driveway goes down into the garage.
It's the only one on the
So we
street.
have like a manhole with pumps in there, but sometimes they don't keep up. So a lot of water gets in my garage. So the shed is for storage and for like the motorcycle and totes and all that kind of stuff. So we're looking for the variance. We were off by, I think, 4
Couple
feet or
feet.
something there.
So this shed exists now, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
When was it built?
This
Last summer.
last summer.
All right, so it just essentially, so what we're clear on, this, you've already built the shed and now you're coming to us now that it's already been constructed to get the variance to have it where it's currently at.
Yes, because I didn't know that I had to be 10 feet away. I thought it was only 5. From
So
when
we're
I-
6.
So, yeah. So I
Okay,
had a few-
prior to constructing the shed last summer, did you do any research to determine what you thought the setback was going to have to be?
Well, when I did, I thought I was reading, I put Rhode Island rules and it said 5 feet. So then I guess in Warren, it's 10.
Okay, so, all right, so you never checked with the
Yeah, I
town
wasn't
building
aware.
official? Okay, you just kind of did your own research
Yeah.
and realized, okay.
Yeah, he looked it up himself and I guess whatever he read wasn't correct.
Were any permits pulled to build the shed?
No, because I didn't realize it was over the square footage.
It's 120 square feet.
It's a- that's-
Allow you from
Okay,
Yeah.
200, sorry.
What is the square footage you need, so you don't have to pull a permit.
Well,
I think he said, under 200.
so it's over that,
Yes.
18 by 14.
How this came to us was, we had a complaint through, code compliance that the structure was built. It was already built. We got there. I worked with Mr. Brackett. He's actually, he was trying to come before you several months ago, but just wasn't able to get here. We've had the application trying to put it forth. The building is there. I've inspected it. Basically, he's asking for forgiveness, for the relief on the side yard setback. It is in the side yard as an accessory structure, so it's allowed. However, the distance between the side yard and the side of the accessory structure is not 10 feet, it's a 6.
6. Is there anywhere else that shed could go, like you have a swimming pool back there, do you not, or
Yeah,
Correct, right behind.
and how close is that to the,
so
side yard?
Well,
even,
now it's down.
Yeah.
We took it down. but-
even before building it, my neighbor to the right of me, I even drew it out on the floor, with like, spraying, and he was like, oh, that's perfect for me, because I was like, hey, no, it's 5 feet, and he's like, no, that's perfect. So he had no complaints about it either.
Facing your house or in your house to the right?
Facing
No,
the
it's the
front
left.
to the left.
The neighbor that would be affected by it.
Yeah, the neighbor that would be affected, he had no problems with it.
Yeah, that's
That-
why it looks like there's a driveway. that's-
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that's the letter, right?
Yeah, is that Evan Griffin?
Yes,
We did get a letter.
Okay, so you said, I just want to make sure, so you had a conversation with Evan Griffith, who said he was cool with it?
Right.
yes. Because I drew it out on the, with the spray paint before I even built anything.
All right, because we got an email from Evan Griffith that was just distributed today that's, it kind of indicates otherwise. Mr. Chair, should we introduce a copy of this to
Yeah,
the record?
we should.
Yes.
What, label it, Annex A?
Yeah, Exhibit A.
Exhibit A.
I mean, I'm reading it and it's,
Yeah, so
Wait a second.
in summary, the email indicates that he is the owner of 30 Detroit Avenue. He's aware of it, the request for the variance. Yeah, I'll read one of the paragraphs. I'm not vehemently against the shed being placed where it is. I'm against the process that shows up in my mailbox for variance after the permitting process appears to have been circumvented. On top of that, I'm concerned that this will not be a one-off and future changes will be completed and backed in, putting me in an uncomfortable situation. I mean, I guess I'll say this to the applicant. I understand that you did a Google search to try to figure out what the rules were going to be. But this is a concerning process where essentially, from our perspective, something's been done. And now after you get caught, you're coming back saying, hey, can we have permission to do this now?
Yeah,
I want to be very clear. This is not, behavior that's, this town really
Yeah,
wants to be accepting. So what can you tell us that you're doing that you could not put the shed anywhere else? Why does the shed need to be specifically here? Why can it not be on any other part of your property?
just, I built it there already, and I didn't realize that it was offset too much. And for me to take it all down, it's just cost me like a lot of money, aggravation, and I go from my shed to my,
it's convenient.
it's convenience too.
It's like
Convenient.
literally right near our garage.
It's right next to our garage and just,
but you do have another driveway there. Facing
Yeah.
your house to the right,
Right.
there's another driveway. It couldn't be behind that in the backyard,
We
anything like
have.
that.
Well, I have a-
We have
we
a
have-
push.
yeah.
Not a push,
I have a boat.
shuffleboard court there and,
I have a boat there, and
and then we don't
Carl
want
Hobbs.
it, we don't want it smack in the middle of our backyard either.
Well, I understand you may not want it there, but
Yeah,
is there another place you could physically put this shed that it would be in compliance with all the setbacks?
no,
So you're telling me there's not a single spot at all on your property, whether it's on any of the side yards or any of the
we
backyards?
wouldn't be able,
I would have to
Move
take,
it.
I can't just move it like that. I would have to take the whole thing down and rebuild the whole thing.
Just to kind of guide the board with this type of situation, I know we've seen it a couple times in the past. You can't take into consideration the self-caused hardship. And the way the standard that I would apply, and I believe our Superior Court has applied, is one of equity, in terms of fairness, good faith,
Yeah.
that type of, standard to what is before you here. Although there is a hard standard saying it can't be self-imposed hardship, courts have looked at this, and that's kind of the guidance, that one can apply to a situation like that.
Well, it certainly is self-imposed hardship.
Yeah, because I will say, I think it would be a different discussion if you were coming to us, say, hey, we'd like to put it here
Yeah,
in the
Right.
process.
it really was an honest mistake, because even when Matt seen it, he was like, dude, you're too close. I was like, I thought it was 5 feet. He goes, no, it said to be this. I really didn't know.
How long have you been at 30 Detroit Avenue?
Yeah,
No, just 6 years.
6 years?
Pick it up and.
Okay. Have you guys done any other work at the house while the whole time you've been there?
Just regular maintenance stuff.
Downstairs, well,
Downstairs.
downstairs was already done,
It was already done. I just cleaned it up a little bit.
Okay.
basement, it's like a livable basement.
All right. So as you heard from the solicitor, one of the standards that has been applied has been one of equity. So what other information can you give the board to explain what a hardship it would be to tear down this shed and move it somewhere else? Other than just saying it's going to be hard, can you give us some other
You just
concrete
can't afford
facts?
it.
Can't afford it for
Can't
one.
afford to do that.
What would something like that cost?
Ugh.
I was,
I don't remember how much you put into that.
I've been to it for at least 4,000
4 or
around.
5,000 maybe.
Okay.
But it's on stilts, right?
Yes, but I built it so good, so it'll never,
Is it cemented into the ground?
no.
It's
It's on, all the blocks. I dug those 1 foot in the ground so you can't see them, and I have it all on that,
The cement blocks.
the cement blocks.
And the reason why you couldn't put it behind the house was you said it floods and it's not flat, is that what?
Yeah, it's not flat, it's on an angle, my whole yard's on the pitch, and then, the front of the house, it goes down into my driveway, all the water, so that's like the flattest part of my driveway, my whole property is right there
Right on the side.
on the side.
So you would say that you're limited by the physical
Yeah,
areas that it present?
pretty much. My backyard floods so much too when it rains.
Well, I got it, and we have this letter, it's like if we approve it and your neighbors are happy with it, I guess we could approve it. On the other hand, if we approve it and your neighbors aren't able to make it for whatever reason,
I'm honestly, I'm friendly with everyone on the street. And I'm even surprised you got a letter from Devin, because we talked before I even built it. So it's kind of, say, wow.
Yeah, it sounds like he doesn't mind the shed, he's just doesn't, I guess, the process, what
Yeah,
happened.
and that's my again, Mr. Griffith is
Yeah.
not here, and that is my interpretation of it as well. But I do want to be clear, the process exists for a very
Right.
important
Yeah.
reason.
Right.
And I apologize for that. I really do. I was wrong.
No, I understand. It's a tough situation right now.
Should we hear from anyone else in the audience, from the public, and
I
see if
think
there's
that-
any other neighbors?
Is there anything else you guys would like to add at this point before we open it up to public comment?
Yeah, that's-
just move aside, let's see if there is anybody in the, does anybody want to comment on it? Everybody's here for something else. All right, so that is public comment. All right, and you don't have, do you want to say anything else?
I mean,
I'm
Just,
just,
I guess he didn't do his research well, and, even with the permit too, I think he thought the square footage was under the, so I'm not sure what he read online, but.
Don't trust everything you read on the internet.
Don't trust anything you read on the internet. I'm inclined to say, under the circumstances, this probably requires a site visit. Since the structure is already in place, I mean, honestly, my biggest problem looking at this on paper is it's a big yard to be able to say there is no other place you could have put this. So rather than me simply deciding that what I'm seeing on a satellite view, what I'm seeing on the documentation you submitted, there's plenty of room to put it somewhere else. I think this may be worth us gathering there to look at the site, look at the property, give the owner, give the next door neighbor an opportunity to comment and actually see what the backyard site conditions are that prevent it from going anywhere else. Because it's entirely possible it really may be the best place to put it.
Right.
But under normal circumstances, walking into someone's backyard is not really within our purview.
If he said he didn't have a problem where it is, yeah, I'm only asking for the variance for the extra feet. You know what I mean?
I know, but listen, so
Yeah.
if you were to come to us before you built anything, you would have to explain to us, this is the only place I could ever put, this is the only place that makes sense I could put this here. And you need to explain why.
Yes.
The fact that you've already put it up is muddy the waters a little bit, but one of the analysis and questions we would be asking is, I understand that's where you want to put it there, but is there anywhere else you could put it on your property that either might be a better fit or that you wouldn't need any variances for? Because you're at, where the way the ordinance is written, you're not allowed to build anything there. So you're asking permission to essentially get an exception to the rule to put that there. Whenever in the past, when we face, these sorts of questions, one of the things that we ask is, we understand you want to put it there as the homeowner and the landowner, but we may not be inclined to put that there if there's a better alternative that fits within the guidelines and the setbacks.
It's the least relief.
Can I ask a
Well, or
question?
keep
Yeah,
them
go
on
ahead.
the side of the house.
Matt, were you able to actually go there in person to see? And in your objective opinion, would that backyard be not suitable to put a shed or?
I'm not gonna go on record as to say if the backyard could have the shed or not.
Okay,
I did visit the property, we met there. The shed is on the side yard and, unfortunately, if he had 4 more feet, we wouldn't be before you today.
Yeah.
And am I correct that building code does not allow that shed to be up against the house? Because that's where it would have to be to get 10 feet.
That's, I would have to be looked at, because it is an accessory structure.
Yeah, I don't even know if putting it up against the house would give that.
In theory, according to the plans that were provided, there's 4 feet between the
Oh.
house and the structure and 6 feet to the
Okay.
property line. So there's 10 feet of spare space. But if it can't be right up touching the house,
It doesn't matter.
it doesn't matter.
I mean, so I understand, why we're here today, but if you look at it, this is just a flaw in our system. 50, I think it was 58 square feet. If he took off this building and had 4 more feet, he could put it right up against where it is now.
Yeah.
All right, so Jason, you're in favor of a site visit. How about you?
I'm kind of leaning that way myself. Just given some of the complexities, I would agree with Mr. Renaud. I think a site visit might be beneficial just to kind of put any other issues to rest.
Chuck, what do you think?
Well, they haven't really proven that it can't go somewhere else.
That's, yeah.
And I agree with that. It's already up, so we're not really hurting them by delaying it and doing the site visit.
Right,
We're not slowing them down from construction at this point. so-
Right. And this isn't like a violation or a fine situation or anything.
Not a
like
fine
that. Okay.
So there's a violation for the building being constructed without a permit. He pulled a permit right away afterwards.
Okay.
So there's basically where it sits now, it's there. It's not causing any harm to anyone besides the setback.
So us kicking it a month to be able to do a site visit isn't going to financially harm the applicant and it's not going to delay a process that's.
I don't believe so.
Yeah, I think a site visit too. And if you get it to the next meeting, the neighbor could probably come in.
If it's the square footage, I don't want it anywhere else in the yard. I'd rather make it smaller if that's the case.
yeah, well, we should have a site visit.
Yeah, I
It's
think,
pretty unanimous.
I think if that becomes,
on the record
if that
saying that.
becomes part of the option.
Sure.
I think having that in your back pocket as a potential option, yeah, I mean, if there's a way to functionally shave 59 square feet off this thing, then it's 200 square feet and you don't have a problem one way or the other. I think after the fact, that becomes a difficult argument. But I think under the circumstances, if we can gather for a site visit to actually be there, see the space, see the backyard, understand why that really is the best place to locate the shed, and possibly see if we can get your neighbor to come out and be part of that discussion so that we're at least comfortable.
He doesn't live there.
Oh,
So there's like
He
flowers.
lives, yeah, his mother-in-law that
Mother-in-law.
rents it, I think, so he's not there all the time.
oh, okay.
Well, regardless.
Not often at all, actually.
So for the record, if it was under 200 square feet, it would still have to meet with the setbacks. It would just, in this case, the 4 feet. If
No.
it was shy 4 feet and that made it under 200, then it would be fine.
Well, if it's under 200 square feet, it only has to be 3 feet off the property. Correct.
So there's a couple moving parts here.
Yeah.
It's like- it comes up with
I know,
a new law.
I'm trying to-
So let's take the first part of it. Any accessory structure under the new state building code, well, 2019 building code, anything under 200 square feet does not need a permit, freestanding structure. Now, the town ordinance is anything 120 square feet or less, 3 feet off the property line, 120 square feet greater, 10 feet. Off the property line. So there is a very confusion there. And we get confused on it all the time because
No, that's-
200 and 120 is, they just made it easier, made everything 200, it would be a lot easier, but.
Okay.
Okay.
You want to choose a date?
Let's see.
Do it on the evening before, but it's dark now.
I'm gonna put it out there. I am not gonna be able to be present at the January meeting.
Oh, God, am I able to be at the January meeting?
No, I don't think you are.
Figures. That actually becomes a bigger issue.
Yeah, she had 2 alternates, so if they're not gonna be, but Andrew's not yet, right? So he can't speak on it.
Maybe we could have this reheard. Again, the structure's already built. There's no prejudice really for time, from my view. You know, we could do a site visit sometime in January and then readdress this at the February meeting.
We could. We could do a site visit in February.
Yeah.
Oh, we would have more daylight in February, which would be nice,
Yeah.
at least a little bit. The 3rd February is the 21st of February.
Yep.
We wanna, we have to meet it now, because you have to announce it.
We do have to
Oh, yeah,
announce
that was
it.
part of the deal. We have to decide the dates and times.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do we do it immediately before the February meeting? So 21st?
I
I might be away that week and I'm definitely away in April if it goes out that far.
What, wait?
In February, yes.
Oh, wait, but that's, okay.
at the 20th, the day before. Oh,
We could do it the 20th, we could even do it a week before the 7th or something like that, or
yeah.
5th,
Oh,
6th.
sure.
I can do the first week of February. I'm in Florida the week after that.
Yeah, we don't have that.
How about,
But there's still 5.
the 6th of February, Tuesday, the 6th? That work for anybody?
Tuesday, the 6th, I could do.
I can do
Works for me.
it. What date is it?
Tuesday, the 6th of February.
That's on a Tuesday.
Yep.
Before the meeting, before that.
Yeah, well, there's no meeting, it's just, be Tuesday.
All right, yeah, that's fine. What time?
5:30, 6?
Could you do a 5:30 site visit on February 6th? It's a Tuesday. Okay.
Is that too late? It's still dark?
Might still be a little dark.
What kind of lighting do you have in the area? What was it?
Yeah, I mean, there's no rush in this, and if lighting is an issue and to get everybody there, I don't know what our date is on February, but I know, sometimes it's tough to get everybody here for the meeting.
It's, yeah, our date is the 20th of March, and that's, that is 2 weeks after daylight savings time.
And that might be, I think we've done site visits where we've done the site visit and then came here. It's fresh in everyone's mind and everyone's there. We can just meet there, come here. I mean,
It's not hurting them at all,
no.
Right.
because you're waiting to build, so.
Right.
They're gonna be cutting the grass around it. the 20th of March.
And the other issue you have to look at is in February, we haven't seen anything yet, but there could be
What
snow.
if it
Yeah.
snows?
And then
Yep.
we won't be able to see the lay of the land and it could be tough to maneuver in the
So
backyard.
March
So
20th, just before.
March 20th, yeah, if we do 5:30 before the zoning meeting.
Okay,
All right, does that day with, yes, so, yes, the 20th,
Yeah, what day is it?
Wednesday, 5:30, and then we'll be back here at 7, right after that for
Okay.
the meeting to, continue the hearings.
So we
Does that
meet you
work?
there, then you
Yeah.
come here and we would go at it.
Yeah, that's fine.
Great.
Put it in my phone.
Thank you.
So
Yeah, we have, hold on.
We have to vote on
Yeah.
this.
I'll make a motion to continue application 23-45 until the March meeting with a site visit on March 20th, the night of the meeting at 5:30 PM.
second,
All in favor?
aye.
Aye.
So be it. All right. Next up is application 2349, Ocean State Plaza Inc., owner, Point Sign and Awning applicant, 601 Metacom Avenue, plat map 15B, lot 333 and lot 334. Request for a sign variance to install an illuminated wall sign with greater than the allowed sign square footage in the business zoning district.
Ann Ramsey, Viewpoint Sign,
And where are you at?
Northborough, Massachusetts.
Northborough, Massachusetts. So tell us about switching signs here.
Well, Planet Fitness bought Mega or Max Fitness. And legal reasons, obviously, we had to get the sign off the building. The sign that was there was 200 square feet, and we are proposing a sign of 167 square feet.
Excuse me, I think I may have to recuse myself. I'm a member of the gym.
Oh, so much.
Planet or
I don't
Max?
think you have to.
Max.
Max is no longer.
Yeah, yeah.
It's not Planet.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. I mean, I'm not non-voting anyway, so, but I just.
have enough members here that it's an active member,
Well, I'm a member of Max Fitness too.
still have 12 members here, so-
Not yet.
I'd open.
There you go, not yet.
Yeah.
Out of abundance of caution, I would suggest.
Yeah.
Both of us?
See you.
Yeah, if we didn't have it, then maybe my recommendation.
Start the break.
We have it.
Okay,
Anybody a member of Planet Fitness?
We're dropping like flies.
It's different, a membership's different than just going to a restaurant that we vote on versus.
yeah,
There's a little contractual difference. For abundance of caution.
I should belong to a gym, but that's another.
That's a different story. Shouldn't we all?
all right, I'm sorry, what was your name again?
Ann Ramsey.
Ann Ramsey. All right, Ann. Tell us about the sign.
Okay, well, the problem with the sign is it's 380 feet off of the road. And there's a Citizens Bank in front of it, so you can't really see the sign, even at the size it's going to be, unless you're coming from the opposite direction. So the argument that was made for Max Fitness is the same argument we're gonna make. It's dangerous for people to be trying to stop and slow down, because that street is very busy, to try and see where Planet Fitness is. And they need to be able to see where they're going, obviously. So it's bad for the customer, it's bad for business, because we're a new gym going in there. So we need to have all the exposure we can have.
And you're saying this sign is actually a little smaller than Max Fitness's sign?
Yes, Max Fitness was variance for 200 square feet.
Now, is Max Fitness's sign just more compact, or is Planet Fitness more spread out?
Planet Fitness is a little bit more spread out the way it falls, because you get the gear and the letters kind of to the side. And Max Fitness was more taller, and it was a box sign.
So that may well raise a question, just to make sure that we've got our math correct. The square footage that is indicated, how was that derived? Is that
Length times width
of the total
of the square,
box?
yeah, of the total boxed area.
Okay,
Oh,
great.
okay.
So that's correct. Great. It is internally illuminated,
It is,
LED, I'm assuming?
yes.
Is the intent for it to be intensity controllable? Or is it simply?
No, but I
on-
can do that. It's not a lot to put a dimmer in it to make it. That's not a problem.
Okay.
Is it here? Is it staying on all? What are the plans with Max Fitness? That wasn't on all night, was it?
No, I believe,
Whatever your hours are is what they'll do. I
yeah,
mean,
typically the signage would turn off when the facility is closed to the public.
Unless you specify otherwise. If you specify otherwise, then no.
But that, what you're saying is that that's not going to be an issue if we were to put some sort of limitation like that on, correct?
No, not an issue.
It sounds as if you're pretty much asking for the same deal Max had, it's just different sign and a
We're
little
asking for a
smaller.
little bit less. Just to be safe.
So it's just a change in ownership of the business with a change in the sign, and the sign's actually a little bit less.
Yes,
That's basically it, correct?
absolutely.
And the sign that's there now on the big tarp,
Yep, the
whatever,
banner.
banner, that's sort of what it's gonna look like,
It's exactly what it's gonna look like.
exactly what it's gonna look like,
Minus the white.
minus the white.
Yep. It's exactly the same size.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll just state for the record, you know, it's, we all know there was a gym there previously, but, you know, many other businesses on that stretch, you know, at least I'm personally aware, have internally illuminated similar type signs.
Well, it is well off the road. It's not another big sign on hanging over Metacom Avenue. Mike, do you have any other questions?
No, but they figured they're going smaller and they're gonna, go with the dimming and everything, we're good.
Well, you guys are looking at that. Is there anybody in the audience that has any comments on this sign? Seeing none, we'll bring it back.
Question I have, I'm just going through the materials that you submitted, and it looks like part of the original variance to Max Fitness was also a single slot on the face of the pylon. Are you guys going to be doing anything with that?
We are.
Is that included in this?
We didn't put it in here because it doesn't require a variance.
Okay, just wanted to make sure.
It will be part of the permit package.
Just 1 second here. I think we're getting ready to make a motion.
Codifying notes. Anything else we got?
I think we're all set if you are.
I will move approval of application 23-49, Ocean State Plaza, Inc., owner, viewpoint sign and awning applicant. 601 Metacom Avenue, plat map 15B, lot 333 and 334, request for a sign variance to install an illuminated wall sign with greater than the allowed sign square footage in the business zoning district. In approving this variance, we will note that the hardship is due to the unique characteristic of the subject land or structure. This is a signage location and a tenant space that is 380 feet off of the main road and obstructed by other businesses which are in direct line of sight. So the nature of this signage and advertising is such that it needs to be larger than what is currently accounted for in the zoning code for the town of Warren. The hardship is not the result of any prior action of the applicant. This is the nature of the site, and they are replacing a sign which is actually larger than the variance being requested. In granting the variance, it will not alter the general character of the surrounding area. There are numerous illuminated signs up and down the business section of Metacom, so this will, as sad as it is, fit right in. The relief requested is the least relief necessary, as the elevations demonstrate that this size of signage is appropriate for tenant space that is that far off the main road, and it is in keeping with the general tenor of the rest of the signage for this particular retail site. If this were not to be granted, it would constitute more than a mere inconvenience, in so much as this business may lose out on the visual traffic from the street, as it is entirely possible people driving by on Metacom will not know that the business exists. In approving this variance, we will apply the following conditions. One, that a small manual dimmer be included in the sign in the eventuality that it does end up being overly bright for the site. And we will note that the hours of operation for the sign shall not exceed the hours of operation for the business itself. So when the business closes for the evening, the sign should shut off. We will further note that the code allows for 20 square feet of signage. The request is for 167 square feet of signage, so we are approving a variance of 147 square feet.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Good luck.
Thank you. Have a great day.
You too. All right, Mr. Thibodeau and Mr. Francis has rejoined the board here. Next up is application 2350 TDR Properties LLC owner, Ford's Manufacturing LLC applicant, 84 Cutler Street, plat map 8, lot 115. Request for a special use permit to allow for manufacturing in a business zoning district. And who do we have?
I'm Kippen Ward of Ward's Manufacturing. We're at 84 Cutler Street, Suite 7 in Ward.
I'm Kelly Ward, this one.
So it was Kit Ward?
Kiffin,
Kiffin?
Kiffin.
Oh, really? And
Kelly,
Kelly.
K-E-L-L, or sorry, K-E-L-L-Y.
very good. Okay, what are you manufacturing there? Steel or?
So we'll be cutting and bending, sheet metal and plate metal, mild steel, aluminum, stainless steel, copper, and brass. It'll be cut with a fiber laser and bent with a hydraulic press brake.
Is
Is it
this
noisy?
No, 70 decibels, which is the same as a washing machine.
Somebody, he said yes, so it's a loud washing machine.
70 decibels.
70 decibels.
Never washes his clothes.
Is this contract fabrication? Do you guys have final product that you sell? or-
Contract, it's a service.
Okay.
Is it for making ductwork or is it anything or?
Just about anything.
Really?
It's essentially a job shop for flat cut and bent.
How many employees do you have?
Just us two right now.
Just you two?
Do you anticipate having more?
Yes.
Definitely.
How many more?
Well, within 3 years, about 10, but we aim to have our first hire in a month.
Okay, so you're thinking maybe maximum could be about 10 or so? Ish.
Yeah, more than that in the long term, but
Okay.
What are your intended hours of operation?
about 8 to 5.
Weekends?
Probably not usually, but if demand calls for it, possibly.
Okay, and as far as deliveries, how is the metal going to be delivered and the finished product going to be shipped out?
We have a loading dock, a covered loading dock, and so trucks will come in and be able to back right up into it, and then we'll just put our product on the truck and away it goes.
What type of trucks? Are we talking like giant semis, smaller box trucks, all of the above?
All of the above.
Yeah, up to 23-foot trucks.
So not 18-wheeler style, large format. Do you
No.
guys take flatbed deliveries, that sort of thing?
Yeah.
We do flatbed. Pretty typical freight trucks, ABF and
The types of trucks that already go through there for all the other businesses around.
Okay, that's kind of what we're trying to gauge. We
Yeah.
all kind of
Yeah.
see it, it's a
Yeah.
tight roads back there.
Yeah, yeah.
So, that south facing part of the property borders against, two residential homes.
Mhm.
On that south part of the property, how much activity do you guys anticipate there being?
I'm sorry, which side is the south side?
So that would
where the
be-
loading dock is?
I believe that would be the loading dock, yes.
Okay, well, all the activity is happening indoors, other than, trucks coming in and just backing up into the space, where it's fully covered.
And, do you anticipate adding extra lights in that area?
No, No.
Yeah, I know, I'm familiar with the property. There are some lights that do, come out there. Mhm.
How many square feet is it? Is it 22,000 square feet or so?
The total building is 25,000.
It is.
Sorry,
Space.
can you come on up?
Do you like my home address or the business?
Home address, please.
Andy Aruda, 28 Brownell Street in Warren.
Excellent. In relation to the project?
I own the building.
You own the building.
TDR Properties. Their space is about 7,000 square feet. The building's about 24,800 square feet.
Great. And a question for the wards. Are you guys, are you already in operation at another site and just moving, or is this a brand new business you're starting up here?
Brand new business.
Okay.
So we're pre-operation.
Nice. I'm assuming this is all base metal. This is not precious metal cutting. There's no additional security needed.
Correct.
Just the 5.
Okay. Now as far as, trying to think as far as like, deliveries and shipping, I know in other businesses we set some time. I'm trying to think if there's anything we've set for other, projects at this site.
Typically, if it's abutting a residential area, we say no earlier than 8 a.m. But
Yeah.
since 8 a.m. would be the start of their workday, that would sort of make sense.
Yeah, with that, is that something you'd be amenable to limiting, shipping, whether it's incoming or, you're outgoing to, no earlier than 8 a.m. and no later than 5 p.m.? Is that something you could live with? You'd be amenable to?
We could if we have to.
If I could speak to that, the tenant that, just left, they needed more space. Everybody in my buildings is from out of town, so it's kind of cool because we've run in a ton of business into the town of Warren. The people that were in there did a very similar business, Creative Congress. They put together the mechanicals for theater sets, the in and out, Trinity, moving theater sets. So they did a lot of engineering, machinery work. And they never got a delivery before 8. In the summer, it seemed there might be a delivery maybe till 6.
That's what I would say.
Mhm.
Until
You
6.
can't do it like right at 5 because truck drivers, but
It's just about for trucks that pick up from me. You gotta give them like 6, because a lot of it, especially freight trucks, you might get them at 2, you might get them at 5:30, 5:45.
Okay.
it's not like it's their choosing. Yeah, it's not their
Yeah.
choosing.
Because
It's,
it's Newport
They
coming
get-
back.
Yeah.
And deliveries, I never saw a truck delivery before 8
I don't see any problem coming through Providence, right?
Let's get back to Providence.
It's gonna be going.
You gotta allow us an extra 3 hours. for it.
That's the next guy's problem.
But Warren's the last pickup for everybody, so all the trucks route out to Newport, whether they're coming.
Oh, and work their way back.
And pickups, after they drop off to Newport, then it's pickups all the way back. So you could get it at 2, but you could get it at 5:30, 5:45.
It's also not Water Street. It is an industrial area.
Yeah.
so-
That's true.
As far as like garbage and stuff like that, what kind of waste do you anticipate generating at the site?
There'll be a little bit of scrap metal that we just pay to get picked up and collected, so that would be taken out of the building just as our final products would be taken out.
But it's collected and stockpiled indoors rather than outdoors?
Yes, yeah, all indoors, everything indoors.
Okay.
Mhm. Just to build on what Andy had mentioned about the previous tenant, what they did encompassed an entire manufacturing process, and ours is just the very beginning of a similar manufacturing process. So our activities are actually fewer than what was previously there.
Okay.
All right, I'd like to, is there anybody in the audience that would like to make a comment? Let's just move over, see if there is anyone.
Andre Asplin, 99 South Cutler Street here in Warren. I'm abutting the property that Mr. Ruda owns. And whenever an issue comes up, I give him a call. I have his telephone number on my cell phone. So we have discussed various things quite often. And he has always met satisfaction. It's always been satisfactory. We do not have a problem. My biggest concern is noise and odor, and that has not been a problem. And I don't see where this is going to change that. So I have no objection whatsoever.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Sure, come on up.
Nathaniel Teichman, I'm Kelly's husband.
Can you spell your last name, please?
Teichman. Just to make one clarification, just so I understand it, I'm looking at a map. Andy, correct me if I'm wrong, the south of the building is actually the back of the building where the office section is that correct?
Yes,
So-
near the residential.
So that's the actual office section of the building, where none of the manufacturing is being done. And the deliveries are to the north of the building, which is in between all of the other units. And the loading dock is to the east, which is not abutting that southern area. So just for clarification.
That's a good point.
where that
Everything is
section
away from the residential.
I just wanted to clarify that.
Thank you.
Okay. Yep.
We have Kelly and Kevin, a brother and sister.
Motion.
To the question of odor, the cutting process, does it have a vent hood associated with it? Does it put off any gases, vapors, anything that needs to be vented outside the building?
The gases used are oxygen and nitrogen.
Okay.
So what's already in the air, and it has a very robust dust collection and fume collection system. So everything is contained. There's no need for exterior ventilation.
Gotcha.
The cutting happens in a big rectangular box, so it's fully contained even from the rest of the shop. And then any air in that box gets then taken into the dust collector, which is another box. Then it gets condensed.
Lots of boxes.
Yeah, everything is very well contained and insulated.
Gotcha. Okay.
Okay. I'd like to make a motion to grant the special use permit for the zoning ordinance 32-57 for the property located at 84 Cutler Street, Suite 7, Warren, Rhode Island 02885, Plat 8, Lot 15,
Motion 2350.
application 23-50. To allow Ward's Manufacturing to engage in the following manufacturing services, which would be cutting and binding medical sheets to form metal parts. In granting this, there are some stipulations. One would be the hours of operation would be from 8 to 5 a.m. to 5 p.m.
No.
6 p.m.
Oh, I'm sorry, 6 p.m. 8 p.m. to 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. And the loading docks Monday through Friday, only Monday through Friday.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can I don't want to speak out of line. They did mention that it was extremely busy. They might be there a little bit on, you had mentioned that.
Saturday as well.
Yeah.
Maybe give them
If
Saturdays.
we are fortunate enough to have so much business that it takes a lot.
Right, but you want to compensate for that now so that you don't have to come back to us? So I
Yeah.
can do Monday through Saturday,
That would be.
That'd be
8
wonderful.
to 6?
Thank you. Yeah,
Okay.
8 a.m. to 6, yeah.
And in granting this variance, I see no hardship, the unique characteristic of the subject land or structure around it. I don't see any hardship that is not the result of a prior action of the applicant. And does not result primarily from the desire of to realize greater financial gain. The granting of this variance will not alter the general characteristic of the surrounding areas. Oh, hold on. Oh, it's just this, okay. Okay, so granting a special use permit, it'd be compatible with the neighborhood land use. We actually had a butters come in and are for the operations to exist in that space. Special use creates no hazard in the neighborhood. There'll be no smells. They already said that there's dust collectors, and it does not create any, it's only oxygen and nitrogen that's passed through the process, and that would not harm the area or it would not create a smell. The special use permit will be compatible with the community comprehensive plan, and the public convenience and welfare will be served. There'll be a new service in the town that would benefit, town members and the state of Rhode Island. So I say that we grant the special use.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Good luck.
Thank you guys.
I'd love to.
Thank you.
Sure. It's good. All right, next is application 2351. Pamela Fitzsimmons, owner, Corey Pono applicant, 43 Parker Avenue, plat map 13C, lot 31. Request for a special use permit to convert an existing garage to an accessory dwelling unit in the R10 zoning district.
Pamela Fitzsimmons, 43 Parker Avenue. And it's just myself, Corey is not here. And it's to create a little apartment out of the garage. We're not going to be adding on any square footage. And that's why I need the special use permit.
Okay,
And you have the design
we have
in hand.
this design.
Yes, you have the design and the application.
For the, I know you said you want to build an apartment. What do you want? What's the ultimate goal? Like, what do you want to build this apartment for?
My daughter has come home from Colorado after 13 years with my grandson for a family emergency. It's a hardship situation, and she needs a place to live. And my house is approximately 800 square feet. It's pretty small. It's a little tight. And we need some place for her to live temporarily. Not a long-term solution, but it is a solution for the time being. My grandson is already enrolled in school. He was over at Bucole, and it's a short-term fix until the housing
Is
agrees.
your daughter Corey?
I'm sorry, what?
Who is Corey Pono?
Oh, he's the designer.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
Was just confused about the missing name.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, that makes sense. Does the garage currently have utility services, or would that all need to be connected to the main house?
It has electricity, and I'm not quite sure how it's actually going to be connected. That hasn't been decided yet because we need to get approval before we move forward.
Gotcha. Okay.
So you have no water, you have electricity and is there water there yet? Is there-
No, and
So
it's
you just
just
wait.
going, yes, it's just going to be a studio apartment.
Okay.
And the footprint of the garage is not changing. These are all interior.
No, it is not. Footprint is not changing. There are going to be 2 windows added. But no, square footage is not changing.
And just, I want to make sure I got the site plan down. The garage is physically detached from the house, correct?
Yes, it is.
How many cars currently parked in the driveway?
2.
And that would be the 2 that would be expected when the dwelling unit is occupied?
There will be an additional car when she brings her car from Colorado, so there would be 3. It's a very large garage, a large driveway there. I could fit 5.
That was my
yeah.
question, is whether or not the additional cars could fit in the driveway.
Yes, it's
Okay.
a large driveway.
Questions? Chuck, any questions?
We want to go into public comment.
Yeah, I think that's.
Yep, any public comment? We'll step aside, see if there's
Hi, my name is Bill Barlow, 2 Roseland Avenue. I'm across Parker Avenue from the applicant. I don't have any concerns about doing what needs to be done for her to help her family. My concern is with this variance, there will be a rentable outbuilding. Is that correct?
Not necessarily.
She's got to sign a familial relationship with the person on that ADU. If that's a condition of approval, if the board approves, so they can't just go out and rent it to anybody. That restriction's put in place.
Okay.
On a yearly basis,
Okay,
so there's that restriction on it.
so that's a permanent restriction.
Correct. If the family moves out, it reverts back to the garage. You can't use it for.
Okay. So it doesn't
According to the
transfer
law,
to a new
as we
one,
speak, yes, according to the law, as we speak, yes.
which could change.
Well, the ADU law changed last year and the year before, 2022. And they were gonna make amendments to it in
Mhm.
2023. They did, they pushed it off. Some anticipated maybe 2024, some amendments, maybe it's in that area, I don't know. But as of right now, there's definitely a familiar relationship as required. She's required to sign off with the town who's gonna live there.
Okay.
And inform the town if someone leaves and it becomes vacant, therefore reverts back to just the garage.
Okay.
And that condition is a default in the law right now,
It is,
correct?
correct.
So we don't need to add that as a condition. That is by default.
Correct.
Okay.
We could mention it, though.
Yeah.
Yes, we can. I mean,
That's all for me. Well, it's.
All right, thank you.
you can come back up and let us know if you have any other final thoughts, and maybe we'll have a motion. Anything
No, I
else?
just, no, I'm hopeful that you will help out because, the rent's very expensive over here and it's very difficult and it's a time of need. So we're hoping that you will approve it.
Okay, good. Is there a motion?
Yes, give me a sec. All right, I move approval of application rather, number 23-51. Canmore Fitzsimmons, owner, Corey Pano, applicant. 43 Parker Avenue, plat map 13C, lot 31. Request for a special use permit to convert an existing garage into an accessory dwelling unit in the R10 zoning district. In granting this application, we find that the proposed use will be compatible with the neighboring land uses. Oh, I'm sorry. It's going to be compatible with neighboring land uses. We're starting to see more and more of these ADU type situations prop up through town for this very specific purpose of, helping out family in times of need. We find that this will not create a nuisance or hazard in the neighborhood. Again, there's been testimony taken that the existing driveway is a good size, can comfortably accommodate the existing 2 cars, and it's not anticipated it will that there'll be an issue with that a third vehicle added to it. So there won't be there'll be plenty of off-street parking and not clogging up the roads. We find that approving this application is compatible with the comprehensive community plan. Again, this is improving the housing stock in the town and, more importantly, helping keep Warrenites in Warren, helping their family members so that they can be close to each other in their times of need. And we find that the public convenience and welfare will be served, those above reasons. In granting this a special use permit, we do make the following conditions, or memorializations rather, that all applicable accessory dwelling unit laws be followed, including the annual registration of the familial ties, as well as any other conditions that are otherwise applicable by that law. Also, in granting this approval, and I understand construction has not started yet, that all regular health, safety, and fire and building ordinances be followed and all the proper permits pulled. Anything else?
I don't have anything else to add. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Good luck.
All right, thank you so much.
there any administrative items we have to do here before we?
I just want to remind the board, I will not be here for the January meeting.
Nor will I.
I will not be here for the February and April meetings.
Hopefully it's like
School vacation.
What day is the January meeting?
The
21st, I want to say.
I'm not gonna be here for the January meeting either.
17th.
Is it?
We have a lot to be here for January.
Yes, it's January 17th.
I don't, that's, too bad, as, the laws changing January 1st.
Ah.
I think,
Buy some time.
financial gain is out the window, there's things changing in terms of what you tribute with and the standards that we apply. So, I think it would be quite beneficial at some point in, January, we hold type of meeting just to kind of go over the new, standards, expectations, and how it applies to this board.
Nice. Oh, that'd be great.
As the board members, have you received any correspondence of what the law changes are gonna be?
No.
Okay, I will email, there's a video that I received. It was done by the Realtors Association, I believe. The solicitors from Middletown put out a video. It's about an hour long, very informative, but it's very interesting to see how the laws have changed and taking the power away from this board and giving it a lot of it to by right. So one issue that we have to recognize.
Taking the power away from the board and giving it to who?
So it's more or less by right. So so for instance, any type of commercial dwelling, commercial building can be converted into a residential dwelling, even though that the district that it's in, the zoning district, won't allow residential. So we have rural business district from Malik's Liquor North on Market Street. Any commercial building that's there, existing structure, can be converted to residential, and it doesn't come before here, it's by right, so they can do it. They can make it 50% mixed use and
Special
nope.
use permits or
Mm-mm.
area.
Nope,
No.
no. So that area right now, if, let's take a building such as Sip and Dip. I'm just gonna use Sip and Dip.
Sure.
Sip and Dip right now, if a developer came in and said, I want to take Sip and Dip and make it into residential, I would tell them, no, you can't do that. And we've had there's many instances in that district because we don't allow residential in that district. Residential that's there now is grandfathered in, but any new residential isn't allowed.
But wouldn't that be special use?
No,
No.
It's
What
by
would that
right.
fall under?
it's by right.
That's the change in the laws that adaptive use provision that he's talking about.
But within our powers, we either do a variance
We
or
have
a special use, so how would that affect
Many,
us?
It wouldn't be,
a
they
lot,
just
a
take it away
lot
from you.
fewer applications are gonna come before this board. This board,
Okay, so how they,
correct.
Okay.
But however, the town does have to adopt some ordinances and amend what we currently have to reflect Rhode Island general law and US laws. But certainly, it also allows for, the town zoning official to have administrative relief at his hands, basically. It's limited. You can maybe up to 5% to 15%. It just depends on what the approach the town takes. It's flexible. So stay tuned. There's a lot of changes coming. That was just basically saying, kind of a summary as to the type of changes that we're looking at. Certainly, he's gonna pass some information along. We'll try to organize at least maybe in January a nice, once some changes are made. Read the whole firm here and Q&A and kind of a new task and a new standards and what we're looking, towards the future, I guess.
So something like that, that's not even concerning to us, because it's never gonna come in front of us. It's
Well,
gonna
so-
be
It
like-
would've
come in front of us
Well, it's gonna ruin the-
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm bringing this, I quickly gave that scenario because
Right.
that's something that really opened up my eyes. And it shows that how something that before we would say, you can't even have this. Now it doesn't even come before us and it's approved. And there's a lot of also, and I'm gonna send this video, it's very informative, but there's also a lot to do with legal nonconforming. How that basically a lot of different scenarios that wouldn't come before. Like Ben said, there's a process of we would still send out the abutters notices, but then I would have the authority. It doesn't come to the board. It would be me as the zoning official that approves and grants
Oh,
the.
so if the only thing that would have brought them before us is it's a modification to a legal non-conforming structure, that can be administratively handled as it still meets all of the other requirements.
It's not, yeah, I mean, it's not even, it's, again, there's a formula, but it would be by right, it wouldn't even be an administrative, they wouldn't even, I wouldn't even have to do an administrative approval, it's by right.
Just done, yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, so I'm gonna send that video out to you, it's very, like I said, and then, you know, I don't wanna, I'm gonna send it to each one, because I don't want a quorum or a rolling quorum. So if you have any questions individually, you can email me, so we don't form a
Sure.
a big,
That makes
and I think, you know, the firm will come in, because there's a lot of stuff that I need to, no, I mean, it's,
Yeah.
I can show you, just real quick, I have it right here. I mean, this is it right here.
This is all from
wow.
Rhode Island State Legislature.
But it's not black and white. It allows some discretion as to what each municipality adopts.
That's a big libertarian tone to it. It's odd for this state.
And so the other issue, there was an article on the Boston Globe with Speaker Sakachi, and he stated that in this next session, wants to continue to work on the housing, and they want to issue, as Ben was talking about, we're always changing. They want to issue more bills and laws to change the housing, to create more housing. Essentially, you'll see too that it will take a lot of, this board won't have as much, but the planning board is going to get, there's a lot more onto the planning board, so.
Yeah, because one of the things, I mean, it almost seems like it was at one point, like taking a lot, I don't want to call it reduction of home rule, but like a lot of the local, you know, input was just like, too bad, the state says you got to do this.
Right.
But the way it's been planning out, it seems like the planning board's getting a lot more.
So initially, under the unified development approach, right, that's just one example how over time, the planning board, maybe 4 or 5 years ago, the town adopted, it was optional for the municipality, but if they had a subdivision that came before the planning board, they could authorize subdivision and also give dimensional relief. Now, that was optional, we did it about 5 years ago.
Yeah.
So there was dimensional variances given by the planning board, now it's mandatory across the state. I mean, there's that type of change coming
Yeah.
in terms of empowering more the planning boards and in the unofficial.
As long as there's still local control, that, I mean, that's my whole,
Yeah.
the record, right? I'm not some crazy guy.
We're still on the record, I think, right?
Yes.
Yeah, technically we have.
But it also puts
Yeah.
the impetus on the town council and to actually create the
Yeah, correct.
the rules.
Yeah.
Make a motion to adjourn?
Second.
All in favor?
Now we're off the record.
Yeah, so off the record.